I'm going to dive into tapping into the eating and
Into the what?
eating,
Yeah.
the choices that we make,
Yeah.
okay? Knowing
Before you dive into that, are you going to dive into the vortex
exactly.
and
So
then follow your inspiration?
That was powerful.
Yeah. So get out. You have to isolate satisfaction. In other words, spend a little time doing that and then watch what happens next. Because a lot of people are looking for satisfaction in this moment through their tongue. We want you to find energetic satisfaction and then watch where that leads. Here's how it works. So let's say, and this is true of almost everyone, that through life you keep hearing things about food. And a lot of it you believe. And so you have a desire, but you have beliefs that are in your way. So you have desire for flavors of things and textures of things and for different foods. You have a desire for the flavor and the taste of them. But you also have beliefs that those things won't give you something else you want, which is nutrition and vitality and maybe the body conditions that you want. So you've got a contradiction going on within you. You want it, but you don't want it. You want it, but your beliefs about it, you don't want.
And it's the same thing when your body physically rejects it. So you have...
Let's not go quite there yet. Let's just start with that simple premise that you want something, you believe you want something, it seems flavorful, you've enjoyed it before, you want to eat it again, but while you're eating it, you are emotionally not satisfied because you're mad at yourself even while you're eating it. You feel like you shouldn't be eating it. There's a conflict going on even while you're eating it sometime. It's not because there's something wrong with that food. It's because your beliefs about that food are conflicted with your desires about that food. Your desire is because it tastes this way. Your belief is that it will give you bad results. Well, you just can't move in the direction of something that you've got contradicted energy about without getting the results that your contradicted energy will produce. You see what we're talking about? That's why we say you want to get into the vortex first. You want to be in alignment, because when you're tuned to your inner being, you'll be inspired to the food that your beliefs will accommodate. Did you hear that? We're going to say it again. You'll be inspired to the food that your beliefs will accommodate. What's another way of saying that? The other thing that we're saying with that is that's the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is working with the beliefs you have, but you can't get rid of them. You've got to accommodate the beliefs that you have in order to get to where you want to be. That's why so many people have beliefs about food, and when they omit those foods, then they get the results that they want because they're accommodating the beliefs that they have. But we want you to understand that you can have it all. You can eat the things that are satisfying to you on all levels. You just have to work the bugs out of your belief system. Did you hear that? And it doesn't happen immediately. You can't all of a sudden stop believing something that you've been proving to yourself for a long time.
So that's my big question, is how do you change those core beliefs?
Most important, you don't do it all at once. And next of all, you don't call those core beliefs. Those are not core beliefs. Those are beliefs you've picked up along your physical trail. They're heavy-duty beliefs, but your core beliefs are things about your well-being and your brilliance and your intelligence and your value and your worthiness. Those are your core beliefs, you see. Your inner being holds your core beliefs. But you see, your inner being is calling you. Your inner being is calling you toward what your inner being knows you want. And your inner being, when we said earlier, your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything that you want and will guide you toward what you want along the path of least resistance. What do you think the path of least resistance is? It's the path that you've created with the things that you believe. So your inner being knows what you want and is guiding you through the sort of labyrinth of beliefs that you have. The more you come to understand that it's about beliefs, it's not about realities. Your realities don't form your beliefs form your realities. Then those realities keep perpetuating those beliefs that you formed. You come into this experience and you observe things and you hear things from your dad, from your mom, from the people around you, and you observe and you form these vibrational beliefs. And if they feel good, that means your inner being's on board. But if they don't feel good, it means you're siding with the humans again, and you're siding with the limitations again, and you're being human rather than being the expansive, creative, forward-moving, new creator that you were born to be. Evolution of all species is about this very thing, you see. Someday, you won't be using the fuel that you use today, but by the time that happens, you will have discovered all new fuel sources, and it won't matter. But the more you argue about your fuel sources, the more you hold yourself in self-imposed, vulnerable feelings, rather than moving toward the new energies that are already ready for you to reap the benefit of. Your beliefs hold you back, but they don't have to. A belief's just a thought that you continue to think. So what do you think about asking on a really regular basis, inner being, what do you think about this? And at a minimum, your emotions will become stronger, and you'll at least know whether your inner being's thoughts are in harmony with your thoughts or not about that. Inner being, do you like Republicans? Inner being, do you like Democrats? Well, your inner being will say, yeah, really like them, really like them. Inner being, will you choose one over the other? Now you're disconnected from your resources. Somebody said to Esther, she went to the voting place, decided to cast her ballot vibrationally and physically. And somebody said, are you just going to vote straight ticket? And Esther said, no, there's people under the influence of source all over this ballot. Why would I do that? Why would I vote against that whole group of people when there's brilliance all over this ballot? No, I'm going to vibe them out. Enough? We warned you, the clock was ticking.
I know.
So what's left undone?
I feel like I know all that.
You do.
Okay.
So you're looking for something practical. So ask the question. You see, it's not what you do in this moment. It's what you've pre-paved ahead of time. If you get in the flow, if you remind yourself who you are, for just a little while, think about food as fuel. Eventually, you can look for the best tasting fuel that you can find. But think of it as fuel. And so what you want to let in is all that you can allow with the desires and the beliefs that you hold. And that's actually what is happening. But as you think about this more and as you look for satisfaction more, what you're going to begin to discover is some things feel less appealing to you while other things feel more appealing to you. And before long, food will not be an issue. When we say take money out of the equation, the reason we say it is because most people, when they think about money, get into a lackful vibe and then they don't let their abundance flow. When we say take food out of the equation, we really mean if you take food out of the equation and you just think in terms of vitality and thriving and joy and satisfaction, then you begin finding yourself finding all of those things.
I just want to make the decisions then to what I want to eat.
But when you say I want to make the decision, we want to say to you, what you're saying is, I want to be under the influence. I want to follow the influence of my inner being. And if we could just convince you that your inner being knows everything you want, your inner being knows you want the pep that some food gives you. You want the endurance that some food gives you. You want the flavor that some food gives you. You want the stamina that some food gives you. But you've got trillions of cells that are making requests that your tongue isn't even considering. And your inner being knows what all those cells are requesting and knows among the things that are available to you in this moment in time, because you're not going to search the whole planet for your meal. It's probably going to be right here in this vicinity. Your inner being knows what foods are there that have most of the requests met that your whole self is asking for. And when you're really tuned in, you'll feel a craving for that. And somebody for sure has written a book about not eating that. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Could I ask one more question? This kind of ties into the first segment. You said that we only really age because we believe we will age, or that's a belief that we have, whether it's sickness or age or whatnot.
You are a reflection of what you believe. you really don't want to cut loose of your beliefs because many of them serve you. But what's your deeper question there?
Well, it's kind of trying to understand that concept in the sense that animals age, an elephant ages, or is that a natural tendency?
Oh, these questions are so perfectly placed here. So what your logic must conclude then is, if it is as we say it is, that the beasts of your planet are for the most part pure positive energy, and yet they move through time and have cycles of their life, then don't you have to conclude that they had intentions coming in that they're satisfying in that way? We don't want to make you think that just because you move through time and have your death experience is because you're resistant in nature. We want you to understand that that was your plan. Not one of you said, I'll come and I'll stay forever. You said, I'll come and I'll refresh myself as often as I can, and I'll find as much to be excited about as I can find. And as long as I'm doing that, then I'll be here in the joyful being that I'm intending to be. And then I'll reemerge into non-physical, and I'll take another run at it in a different vibrational time, and as you forced us to say, perhaps a different vibrational place.
Okay. So I've just lost my next question. But I guess
Well, the
that's
beasts of your planet are really an important pickup place because they are steady in their connection, and yet they croak. Just because they get hit by a truck or find some disease and that's their path out doesn't mean they are bad creators. And the same is true of you.
But you can choose to, if you so decide, or if you're
Yes,
able to
absolutely.
live your life healthy,
Yes.
and then decide one day, I'm out
Yes,
of here.
happy, healthy, dead.
Yeah.
Enough?
I think so. Thank you very much.
You feel more sure of yourself? You feel like you want to be more satisfied? Think you have control of that? Do you understand where that leads?